Did you know that children develop language in two ways? Both ways are okay, they just need different types of support. One way is an analytic language processor, and the other is a Gestalt language processor. Some children can be a mixture of both. Most children learn language one word at a time, and then put them together to make sentences. They are analytic processors. They are like sentence builders, using words as individual units. But some children, called Gestalt language processors, learn in big chunks first. It's like they collect big blocks of words. Later, they break these up into smaller pieces and mix them up to make new sentences. It's like playing with building blocks of words. This is also known as delayed echolalia.
Natural language acquisition is a research-based framework which describes how Gestalt language processors learn language naturally. It has 6 stages of development that leads to a full flexible grammar system. Today, we'll talk about the first 4 stages so you can help your child as a Gestalt language processor.
My name is Tody and my daughter is a Gestalt language processor. So initially, we expected her to learn to speak in the normal way, one word at a time and then adding them together. This became quite a frustrating experience for all of us.
My name is Farah and my daughter is a Gestalt language processor.
Ready, set, push!
Learning that Lena had speech and language delay kind of threw me because she has other siblings and they never had an issue. She wasn't picking up like one word, she was picking up a sentence. She was processing language the Gestalt way.
Once we got our head around this new way of learning, once we sort of started to understand it, it was quite liberating and made life much, much easier.
It's been a learning curve because obviously I don't feel like I'm skilled at it, but we're learning together.
We know that all children develop naturally when we pay attention to what they like and see the world through their eyes, especially Gestalt language processors. So when you are talking to your child, watch them closely and follow their lead.
Did you pack?
When you're interacting, keep a close eye on what they're doing and what they're interested in. Join them in their fun and follow their lead. If they want to tell you something, listen and respond. Show them you care about what they care about.
Oh, that's lovely, thank you.
When we really listen to our children talk, it helps them trust us more. And when they trust us, we get closer to them and they're more likely to interact with us. Don't always ask them questions like, "What's this?" It might make them not want to start their own conversations. Instead, talk during moments you share together when you are interacting. That way, they'll be more interested in what you say.
Stage 1. Language. Gestalt language processors learn language by picking up words and phrases that mean a lot to them, like words, phrases, songs or stories that they love. They learn from people around them, as well as songs, books and movies. These words and phrases might sound musical, with rhythm, pitch and intervals being important. Sometimes they might use individual words to name things, but their language might not grow as you expect. Even if you don't understand what they're saying, it's important because it means something to them. And remember, songs are just as important as language that is spoken. You can help children at this stage by letting them take the lead and listening to them carefully. Listen out for when a child may be trying to communicate with you by using language that they have heard.
Up and away!
Gestalt language processors pick up language in special situations, like when something exciting or emotional happens. It makes the language important to them and helps them remember it. This child is excited about what she heard. It got her attention. Let's see what happens next.
Up and away!
Up and away!
The most important thing is connection with your child. It's really important for them to know that you notice when they are communicating and that you really care about what they have to say.
That again.
This helps them to know that it's absolutely fine to learn language in their own way. And guess what? Lots and lots of children do this. Did you? We don't tell children that they're wrong if what they say seems different to what we know. What's important is that it makes sense to them.
Play is so important for children. That's how they access the world. And I can see her developing with me, being beside her and modelling the language and being her play partner, not her teacher, in the aspect of whatever she's doing, following her lead.
Remember, let your child take the lead in play and interactions. When you show them how to talk, you might want to use phrases from songs, books or videos that they enjoy.
The sun is yellow, yeah.
Follow what they do and say simple, fun things related to what they're doing. Don't pressure them to say things a certain way or change their words.
What colour is it? Sun is yellow. Yeah.
That's because their words are important to them.
Yellow.
Yeah. It was definitely a challenge initially to let go of our perceived ideas of learning and let our daughter lead the way completely. Even though it's challenging, it can be a really playful process. And even though you don't get it right every time, it can teach you so much about how your child's mind works. And it's so worth it in the end.
Try to figure out where your child's words come from by paying attention and doing the detective work. Take notes and explore what your child is trying to say. You can help them learn to talk by doing fun things together every day, like playing in the bath or reading before bed. Your child needs to communicate for many reasons, like asking for help, saying what they want, or sharing fun moments. In stage 1, your speech and language therapist will help you pick out simple phrases and show you how to use them throughout your child's day.
Mind the gap.
My dinner.
Mind the gap.
My dinner.
My turn.
My turn.
I can fix it.
You fix it.
Good job.
Stage 2, divide. Once a child has a collection of language scripts, they begin to change the language they have.
And not too tall. It's a...
They make phrases shorter, split some, and mix parts together. You might notice them using bits of phrases that they've used before in different ways. Sometimes they even add new words in the middle of a phrase. Keep following what your child says. Taking notes can help you to see how they're learning and support their progress. Your speech and language therapist will help you to see how your child is mixing phrases and teach you ways to help them develop more variety in their language.
Initially, if our daughter wanted to go anywhere, she would say, let's go to the playground, no matter where she wanted to go. Later on, she would split this up and she would start taking out the let's go and using it for other scenarios like, or let's go to the shop, or let's go wash our hands.
Let's go wash it.
Let's go wash it. This became quite fascinating for us, the whole process. Especially, we realized that the silences in between words were really important. And our daughter started to pick up on the fact that these silences meant that the words were separate.
Stage 3, isolate and combine. At this stage, Gestalt language processors start to understand that individual words have their own meaning and they can put them together with other words to talk about things. They might point to or touch things to show what they mean. This shows they know words are for talking about specific things. The language might sound simpler than in stage 1, but that's because they're learning to talk by using words about what is around them in their environment. Some words might be from earlier phrases they learned. At this stage, how words are put together and grammar are not important. What matters is building up the basics of making their own sentences. Your speech and language therapist will guide you with what words to use, like single words or combinations such as big car and mummy coat. It's a key time for children to grasp that single words mean specific things, even if they're using shorter phrases.
Stages 4 to 6, create. In stages 4 to 6, Gestalt language processors start using their grammar to create short phrases and then even longer and more sophisticated sentences. It's really important you encourage your child by recognising their efforts and progress. And don't forget to give yourself credit too. You're their best playmate and teacher.
It's important to acknowledge the wins and the ups and the downs and how much she is thriving, my daughter. Like, she's made so much progress and it's a delight to see how much she has improved. And I think it's come on because we've acknowledged that there is a different way of learning language. She's not learning it the typical way, but that doesn't mean that she's not learning it.
Initially, we asked ourselves if we were doing something wrong, if it was our fault that our daughter wasn't speaking. Seeing the speech and language therapy team, learning about Gestalt, it's changed our life. It's changed the whole way we communicate, how we let her lead, and it's been a real godsend for us.
Remember, for each child, their progress is going to be different and unique to them. Every child learns at their own pace, and that's okay. It's a journey of exploration for you and the child you care for. To remember how Gestalt language processors learn language naturally, remember this simple abbreviation: LDCC. which stands for language, divide, combine, create. As parents and carers, you can remember your own learning process with this abbreviation, nature, which stands for N, notice. Pay attention to what the child is interested in. A, acknowledge. Recognise and respond to all their efforts to communicate, even if you don't understand. T, track. Keep track of their progress. U, understand. Understand that each child develops differently. R, reflect. Reflect on the journey, both for you and the child. E, explore. Keep exploring and learning together. Remember, listen to your child and take notes. Your speech and language therapist can use this to understand their stage of development. Think like a detective and consider where their language comes from and what it means to them now. Even though there might be challenges, understanding how your child develops language as a Gestalt language processor and the importance of connecting through being responsive to their language will help both of you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we hope you have fun on your learning journey.